Hi, today's activity is to make either a creature or a pet. Being the overachiever that I am, I'm going to make 8 of them. No, just kidding. What I want to do is actually try some different things. So using the same base materials, just developing lots of different character looks and designs, just to try a few different things. So I'm going to start. This is a cheese and biscuit container. Biscuits one side, cheese the other. It's always struck me that when you turn these side on, they look a lot like a Munchie monster. So I'm going to make 8 different Munchie monsters today. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually cover each of these in this fur. It's really cute fur. I guess the main thing that you need to know about fur is when you're cutting fur, you need to use a blade. Don't use scissors, because otherwise you cut off the bottom of the fur. So you can see that where I've cut with the blade, it's left the fur on top intact. I'm going to use a hot glue gun. I'm outside, so I have a one that has a rechargeable battery. You can use any sort of glue. If you're actually able to leave whatever you're using sitting around, then it's easy to use like a PVA or just a craft glue. You can also sew stuff on. So if I was making something that I wanted to be more robust, then I would most definitely sew it. The glue's getting a little bit hot, so it's starting to disintegrate. You've got to check if you're using foam, that it's foam that will actually tolerate either heat or, but this will be enough. That'll tolerate either heat, or there's certain chemicals that will also break down foam, so you've got to be a little bit careful on that. Okay, so there we have 8 different fur-covered monster starts. Okay, so we'll start with this guy. He's probably one of the most traditional ones. We could either have him this way around, or we could actually turn him upside down. For him, we'll just start with him this way around and do a reasonably traditional start on a character. So you could either put the eyes quite close together, or you could put them quite far apart, and you get quite a different looking character with that. I usually trim back the fur prior to, if you put eyes on, with the fur long, then they'll tend to wobble around quite a lot. So you tend to trim away underneath where you're going to put the okay, so this is just a little craft nose that I had sitting around with the googly eyes, and I think we'll put that in there. These have a plug at the back, which you can either put a hole and put it in, or you can cut those off. If you cut these off, make sure you wear eye protection, because they do tend to go anywhere. So we'll just glue those on. I'll put a hole. I'm just wondering if he needs some droopy ears. I think he might. Say, hey, how you doing? So with this guy, what we might do is use a couple of these, which are just, they're a button out of a stack that I had. And this is another button. So we'll just put them all quite close together. So the question is, do we put them there, or do we put them sort of down on the end? Or you could even put them right at the back of his head with distance between. So you can see that, like, however you move them, we might actually do that with him, or it, or the. So here is another monster done. So I'm just looking at what sort of thing we might do with this guy, because he's got quite a long face, which means we can go with some slightly larger eyes, for example. Or so that we can put white backing behind them. We could put them straight in. Okay, so I'm thinking we might go with that. So I don't even know what these are. I think they're door stops or something. I don't know. There's something I had in my kit, as you do. Perfect. I actually really like that. I just think they're going to show up nicely, because there's so much fur around. It'll be nice to actually be able to see. Okay, so when I'm working with the eyes, you put the whites on first if you're using whites. Okay, and then put the eyeballs on, because that way you can change the focus. And what I'm wondering is whether he would benefit from a nose. The other option would be we just use some felt. Okay, this guy, we're going to go with randomly huge eyes and just see how he looks. So he was a really quick build, and is quite effective. Hey, how you doing? And you can just keep moving stuff and adding stuff, changing stuff until you get it a way that you like it. Maybe we go a moustache for him. It's him with his eyebrow and a, I guess, moustache beard. And hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, chums? This guy looks kind of crazy, which is kind of cool. If we have a look at the other one that I've done with ping pongs, just by the attachment of the white, you just change the way that he looks entirely. So even if we might even go a red nose, just so, just by adding these little features, you can change the character of the puppet. So he's trimmed quite neatly. This one's a bit more crazy, and the eyebrows. And let's see what else we can do with him. And there's him looking completely crazy. I really like it. Okay, and next. Hey, just for change, we're going to turn him over and have a white one. This one, I'm going to use a couple of LEDs on, and so what I was trying to demonstrate today is that with a few materials, the choices that you make a lot of difference to the designs that you come up with. So by just moving things around, moving eyes closer, moving eyes further apart, adding little decorations, you can develop lots of different characters. And I mean, this works in the physical world, but it also works when you're creating characters online. So we'll do here's a show and tell of all the characters.